Hello everyone, this is Nan with Channels Training Videos. In this video series, we are going through a training called Administrating Server 2012 R2. This is for the exam prep 70-410. We're following a book by the name Administrating Server 2012 Training Guide. This is chapter 5, and chapter 5 is about managing group policies, application, and infrastructure. Now, in this chapter, we're going to go through maintaining group policies, backing up, restoring, and importing GPO settings and delegation of GPO as well. But before I start with showing you how to backup, restore, import group policy, let's quickly recap what is group policy and how can we use, what are the main function of a group policy. Now, first of all, in order to have group policy in your environment, you must have ADDS role installed on one of the servers, meaning you should have Active Directory in your environment. Now, once you have Active Directory in your environment, Active Directory installed, Active Directory automatically comes with group policies. Group policies are known as GPOs, which is known as GPO group policy objects. Now, in order to manage group policy, we use a console called GPMC. So we have a console called GPMC. Within GPMC, we can manage group policy objects. In order now, automatically in all Active Directory environment by default, the Active Directory comes with two policies, which is number one, default domain policy. Default domain policy, and the second one is default domain controller policy. Default domain controller policy. So two policy comes automatically with Active Directory, default domain control policy, and I'm going to show you where these policies are. Main purpose of a group policy is to apply configuration settings to computers and servers within the network. So configuration settings. Now, configuration probably using group policy uh, is the easiest way to apply configuration settings. For example, if on this desktop we need to, let's say, hide the start button, or let's say we need to hide the control panel so that user won't be able to go to control panel. We can do it from group policies. Other than that, there are about 1,800, actually more than 3,000 settings in computers and servers that we can apply through group policies. We can basically deploy software using group policies. We can disable, enable many settings, everything that you see in computers. So this is my Windows 7 machine. I can enable, disable stuff right from here. I can remove this button. I can restrict control panel access. I can redirect folders from documents. So all these settings can be done through group policies here. Now, in order to work with a group policy, let's start with this first video about group policy, and I'm going to show you how to where to access group policies and how to create our first policy. So I'm going to go on to server number one, and within server number one, all we need to do is first of all go to server manager and then tools, then open GPM, group policy management. Within group policy management, as soon as it opens, mostly sometimes it doesn't come automatically here. It should be on your taskbar. You go here. Now this is your group policy management. Most of the time it opens like this. So once a group policy management opens like this, you need to expand forest, expand domain, and here it shows you your domain, whatever your domain is. So in our class lab, we're using egreen.pri domain. For your home lab, you should be creating, or custom lab, you should be doing canis.pri domain. Here we're working with egreen.pri domain. And as I said, by default, we have two policies available, and the two policies that are available by default, you would see in a new Active Directory: default domain controller policy and default domain policy. WSUS new settings. I created this policy. I'm going to remove this setting to give you an idea how to create new settings. By default, you would see Active Directory coming with these two policies. Now, these two policies, they have certain settings in these policies, and policies are applied to LSCOU. We can apply group policy to local security policy, or we can apply group policies to user, sorry, uh, site, domain, and OU. Group policies are applied to site, domain, and OU. Now here, when you are in GPM, group policy management, you will see, if you need to see how many policies exist in your environment, all you need to do is go to group policy objects. So group policy object. So for now, I can see only two policy. Basically, just a quick information about this policy. Is about this policy is applying to a complete domain. How do we read this? We know that this is a policy. It has certain settings attached to it, but this policy is being applied to a complete domain. So location means where it is applied, and who is it applied to? All authenticated user. Anybody who gets authentication from here, this policy will be applied to everyone. And basically, this policy is being only applied to location domain controller OU, which is this OU. So this policy is being applied only on this. And just like it says, default domain controller policy is only for domain controller. Now let's create our first policy, and we're going to go through all these other options as well. Uh, first of all, go to uh, group policy object, and within group policy object, just say new policy. And the very first policy that we're going to create is about, let's say, lock lock taskbar. Lock taskbar. Now, what is a lock taskbar policy? Lock taskbar policy is this is known as a taskbar. Now, if I go to my client machine here, and if I log into my client machine, if you log into a client machine logs in, and as soon as it logs in, you would see that taskbar. User will be able to make all changes, anything on a taskbar. The taskbar can be increased, the taskbar properties can be changed, and all that. But in many environments, you might want to restrict the taskbar so that user won't be able to change the taskbar, the size of the taskbar while this logs in. What I'm talking about, this taskbar, if you just select this taskbar here, I can make it bigger or I can make it smaller. Other than this, I can go into properties and make changes to the taskbar. For example, I can go here and add the address. So we can do many changes here. In order to restrict this access, it can be done through a group policy. So in order to create a group policy, there are basically three simple steps that we go through when creating a group policy, and those three simple steps are as follows. So first of all, step number one, create a policy. So we create GPO. Step number two, assign settings, which we need to assign setting. And number three is link GPO, link GPO to either site, domain, or OU. So any one of them you can link the GPO to. So create GPO, assign settings, and link GPO, and this is what I'm going to do now. So going back here, we just created a GPO, so meaning I just completed the first step, which is this one. This is done. Now I'm going to assign settings. Now what setting I'm going to assign? I am going to find the setting for lock taskbar. So first of all, let's edit this. So I just edited, my log taskbar policy, and then within this, either I should know that where the setting is, or I can find that out. But before that, we can apply group policy on computers or on users as well. Now, some settings only exist in user, and other settings might only exist in computer. Since this is a taskbar setting, let's try to find it in user setting. So I'm going to go into policies here and go into administrative templates, and I'm just going down on right here. So that is start menu taskbar. Now here this is about taskbar, so all settings taskbar, and here is one policy called lock the taskbar. And for now it is not configured. I'm going to double click it, open, and here I have three settings: not configured, enabled, and disabled. So we can use enable. If you disable it, meaning this policy is not working and taskbar will be open, we can make changes. If we enable it, meaning that this policy will be enabled and the user won't be able to make any changes since it will be locked. Not configured mean it is neither enabled nor disabled. It is the policy is just not working. So here we're going to select enable and then click OK. Once it is enabled, all you need to do, so this is what we did, and all you need to do is just close it. So we just did the second step, which is assign setting, and now we need to link it where we need to apply the policy. So that third step I'm going to do here. I can link it to any OU from here, or I can directly go and link it to the domain. If you link it to a domain, this policy will be applied to all computers throughout the domain, which is not a best practice. What it should be done, it should be linked to one of the OUs or wherever you need to apply. For now, I'm just applying it everywhere just to see if the policy works, and later on we can move it to any other place. So since the policy is here, now on a client machine, uh, since it is a user setting, here, and I need another whiteboard. Since it is a user setting, it should be it can be applied either log off and log back. We can log off and log in. Let me get my whiteboard here. Then I just move it here. So here, now group policies. When we talk about group policies can be applied to L, S, D, O, U. Now L means local security policy, S means site. I can apply policy to a complete site, or D means complete domain, or OU mean any organization, on any organization unit. So this one, any organizational unit. Now, since we made the policy here, so this is my DC, and I made a policy here. And as soon as it is applied to our domain, so our domain is egreen.pri, I applied the policy here, and to this domain, all three machines are member of this. Now, as soon as it is applied and it is a user setting, so from GPO we can assign user settings, or we can assign computer settings. Now, if it is a user setting, now how do you know that user setting or computer setting? Let me show it to you. If we go back to our group policy, and I'm going to just edit it one more time. In all group policies, either you can do computer settings, you can apply user settings. So this is what I'm talking about. So what we did, we went in here and went to here, and the setting that we apply is the user setting. Now, how does it apply to computers? So going back to our whiteboard, and here user settings are applied every time when the users log in, and computer settings are applied every time when the computers start up. So this is one thing. Now, if you don't want user to log in or computer to start up, since maybe users might be busy, the second way is wait for 90 to 120 minutes. Within 90 and 20 minutes, policies will be refreshed, and as soon as in next 90 minutes, this machine will check with the domain controller. Domain controller say, "Oh, you have a policy, and this policy will be downloaded and applied on a computer." So this is second. We need to wait for 120 to 90 minutes. Or the third is that we can go on to command prompt on any computer and run GP update. GP update GP update is a command to immediately apply group policy. So this one, immediately apply group policy. So GP update can apply immediately group policy. You don't have to log back in or log off. You don't have to start the computer. So this is what I'm going to do here. So on my client machine, before I apply the policy, let's see if I can make changes to the taskbar. Yes, I can make changes to the taskbar, and I can also lock or unlock the taskbar as well. But let's go here and open CMD. Open CMD and write here a command called GP update. As soon as we do, it is updating the policy, and in few moments we should see that if it is. Now here user policy could not be uploaded successfully, and sometimes we get a message like this, meaning that the group policy failed. And this message is most of the time because maybe the machine needs a restart, or maybe it might be possible that this machine we need to remove from the domain and re-add to the domain. But before that, let's try one more thing here. Sometimes it just need a restart, or maybe gp update /force. Let's try this. But if this error comes, /force might not be able to do anything. So what we're going to do is we are about to try a restart of this machine. So since the policy is applied in the complete domain, while this machine is starting up, we can check server number 2 here. Now on server number 2, I can still make changes. I can still do everything on this. On this, I'm going to go to open CMD and then run GP update. GP update and done. Once GP update is applied, let's see if it is able to run the policy. If the policy is able to run, then this should give us a message saying the policy was successfully run. It's saying computer policy could not be updated successfully. The following error occurred. It's talking about computer policy. Let's check that if user policy was able to run. So I'm going to say GP update. Sorry. In order to see the policy, GP result /r and enter. GP result /r basically returned us a report that which policies were successfully were able to run. So here I can see. So once this is where we run the command. If we go down slowly, it gives us some information. Computer setting, it was trying to apply these computer settings, and some policies were applied. If we go down on user settings, so this is a user setting, and our locked taskbar policy was applied on this machine. So if the policy was successfully applied, we can right click, yes, it is applied. Now I won't be able to do these settings, unlock settings, or go to properties, and you won't be able to, you shouldn't be able to change anything. So you're able to change few things, but I'm not able to lock this toolbar. Maybe it just needs the restart, but the policy was applied. Let me log in here. On Windows 7 machine. It is logging in, and we'll see in few minutes. On server 1, we're still able to unlock this machine. Let's read this. What is this policy? What is this policy setting about? It's saying the setting affects the taskbar and fits between running application. The taskbar includes start button, list of currently running taskbar, resize. If you enable the policy, it will prevent users from moving, resizing. So, if the policy applies, then you shouldn't be able to resize this or change any settings. Probably this might take just a little bit. We are able to see that I'm not able to lock the taskbar. Uh, so here, let's see this. So here policy was not applied properly on this. Yes, I'm able to do everything. Now, in order to troubleshoot this one, let's quickly unjoin it and rejoin it. So since the policy is not working, even after restart, go to properties. Sometimes it's just a matter of rejoining the machine. So change settings and go to workflow. So I'm gonna just write here ABC, enter, and restart. Now, why am I running this? Because I'm getting that error message. Let me show you that error message one more time. The error message that I was getting, GPO update, and we get that policy error message, and that is sometimes due to, especially in VMware test environment, sometimes this happens. So again, I'm getting policy failure. For that reason, I'm just removing it from domain and re-adding it. So it will take few more minutes to restart, and during that time, okay, after a restart it just came back saying the local admin password is expired. Let's change the local admin password. And the local admin password is changed, and let's rejoin it. Now, since it is not part of Active Directory, no group policies will be applied on it. In order to apply group policies, we must rejoin it to Active Directory. It's logging in. So it's logged in. I'm going to open Windows Explorer. I'm about to rejoin it. So computer. Let's go to computer properties. And go to change settings, and then go to change, go to domain and type green, and then type here the domain admin password, administrator, standard password that we use for all labs, and it has to restart one more time. So I'm going to pause again. So the machine needs a restart, and restart now. I'll just let it restart, and then I'll come back again. Okay, client machine restarted, and all I need to do is try logging in to a domain. So for that, I need to switch user, and right here domain name is green / administrator. Hopefully the policies are fixed. Oops, wrong password. Let's try it. And here, let me try to log out on this one and log back in again. Sometimes you need to just restart the machine to properly apply the policies. The client is logged in, and group policy is still not applied. We can go back to CMD and GPO update. Still has this issue, I guess. The policy cannot be applied. So same processing the policy phase with our template file. System execute the policy not until the issue is we just rejoined this machine, so that shouldn't be an issue. Review. Okay, so in this case, let's click on Event Viewer, so EVMT, and here, let's look at the events, application event. There might be some event for the policies here. System. Okay, in system, I have some events. So it's saying the processing failed. Domain controller was not successful. So let's try to connect to this. And to go down. There are some good policy errors. Server security and oh, they're trying to log into server 2. Server 2. Server 2 has DC. Okay, let's see here. Their policy is applied. Let's do this. I'm gonna just power off server 2 and restart and re-log in on this machine again. I'm trying to see that if it can log into server 1. So if server 2 is not available, it should log into server 1. So sometimes the issue is a domain controller. Okay, so let's check this out. The client. So DC2 is down. DC1. The client should be logging into DC1 now. Let's see if the group policy is working. I click. Oh yes. So group policy is applied. So the problem was with DC1, DC2. There is something wrong with DC1. And how did I find out? We went to Event Viewer. So you can go to Event Viewer from here, or just type EVENTVWR, or we can go into Control Panel, and from Control Panel we can go to change this to small icons, and go into Administrative Tools, and within Administrative Tools just go to Event Viewer. As soon as you open Event Viewer, just go to Windows Logs and System Logs. So Windows Log, just go to System Log, and within System Log, one of the errors was indicating it's the problem with Server 2. So just for the time being, I switch this off, and when one DC is off, the client will automatically log into the other DC, and this is exactly what happened. Now we don't have any group policy issue, as here it says the group policy was applied successfully. So thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next video.